friends. Thank you so much for clicking play. My name is Tracy. I am OG Stitchery here on YouTube and on Instagram. And this is Flosstube number 58. It is November the 2nd, 2022. And it is a beautiful fall day here in New England. Gorgeous sunshine, bright blue skies, and weird noises going on outside. There we go. Thank you again so much for clicking play. I appreciate it. Thank you to my returning subscribers for watching. Thanks. If you are new here, welcome. I know that there are literally thousands of floss tubes out there that you could watch, and I personally appreciate the fact that you clicked mine and that you are here watching. So I hope you enjoy my episode today. There we go. I usually start out my floss tubes with acquisitions, but I don't have any this week. I am, let's say I'm on a spending melt. Not necessarily a freeze because, you know, I purchased something earlier today, but I'm slowing down on my spending, trying to calm it down a little bit because I go crazy sometimes. So anyway, that brings me to my whips, and I do have quite a few because I am wrapping up October start-a-ton. If you are a returning viewer, then you know what's coming up. My board for October start-a-ton. Yes, I am going to be redoing this. But this is the board that I made last year to represent all of my new starts that I had in October of 2021. And so throughout the year, I worked on some of these projects, and if I finished them, then that means I had a new start. So I do have 2 new starts this week, so that's going to be looking a little bit different next time you see it. And the next time you see it will probably be September of next year. Because, you know. All right, so I started the week out with a progress. I call this one Halloween or Vintage Halloween. It's by LiluXstitch, and this is the actual chart. So I'm just going to hold that up there. But it's on Etsy. They are on Etsy, and I'm not in love with this anymore. It's cute, but just not feeling it. I did work on it, but I didn't work on it a lot, and so I don't know. I'm stitching this on 14 count Aida that I think I coffee tea dyed. So this is what I have so far. And all I did was pretty much just stitch the cat. I filled in the cat a little bit. And I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. So I'm going to put it away. I'm not going to throw it away or anything. I'm just going to put it away probably until next year, bring it out and see if I like it. But I don't think I'm going to work on it anytime soon. All right, so the next whip that I have actually is a new start. This is Black Cats Are Seen by Teresa Kogut. And this was found in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine fall 2022 issue. And I'm stitching this on 16 count Escape by Stitch Me. Didn't get a lot started. So there it is. My little meager start. I love this fabric. Isn't it great? So cool. Just started the little cat down at the bottom. So There we go. My little meager start, but it's a start. The next one is Current Mood, and this one is a WIPGO goal for the month of October, which I met. I was going to work on it for 5 days, and so I have a picture of what it looked like before. I think I worked on it last week, maybe once or twice, maybe. Anyway, this is by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and it's called Current Mood. And this was found in the Just Cross Stitch Magazine Halloween 2021 issue. I'm stitching this on 18 count teal Aida. Here's what it looked like before, and here's what it looks like now. Really like it on this fabric. I think it just brings it out very well. So cool. So there we go. There's my progress on that, and so that will probably go away until sometime in the future. Don't they all do that? The next one is Haunted Manor House by Artful Offerings. I really wanted to get some work on this done, but I wasn't able to. Didn't spend as much time as I wanted to on this. I'm stitching this on 18 count Garden Party by Bestitch Me. Here's my progress before. Here's my progress now. Don't know if you'll be able to even tell, but I just worked on this chain down here. Right there. Just didn't get to it as much as I wanted. Really liking this one. I really like that one. I'm going to get that one done. The next one I have is Halloween Kisses, and it's a new start. This is by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I picked this up at StitchCon this past June, and thought, what a great new start for October, right? I'm stitching this on 18 count Midnight Moss by Sunflower Printed Fabric. This was actually a fabric of the month from Rogue Stitching. There we go. And here is my wonderful little start. There we go. As you can tell, it is printed, like I said, but it is really green. You can't really tell. It's definitely a moss green, you know. That's what it's called. I will be bringing this to my retreat, which I leave for tomorrow. So that will be getting some more love, maybe even a finish. Who knows? We'll see. Excuse me. The next whip that I had, one of my favorites. This is The Master of Horror by the Witchy Stitcher. Oh, I just love this pattern. I mean, it's just their charts. The Witchy Stitcher, they know how to chart. I mean, they do fantastic work. So this is what it looked like before. I feel like I got a lot of work done on this. Might not have, but I feel like I did. And here's my progress. Oh, he looks so good. Oh my gosh, he just looks so good. I really didn't want to put this one away. And I might bring him out sooner rather than later, but really like that. That's stitched on 18 count Aida that I hand dyed into like a smoky gray, wispy gray kind of look. And then the next one is a WIPGO goal for November, which the WIPGO numbers have been pulled because it's the 2nd and she pulls them on the 27th of each month. So the 24 and 12 and 24 were the numbers that were called, and this was one of the numbers. This is Shadow Moon by Hands On Design. I'm stitching this on 14 count mint Aida that I coffee tea dyed quite a long time ago. This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. So yes, it's still in the Q-snap because I am currently working on it. I worked on it yesterday and I will work on it today. I will be bringing this to my retreat and work on it there. What I'm hoping to do is get as much of the moon filled in, so then I can just go back and just fill in the empty spaces in there, because that's something easy that you can do at a retreat. You don't have to count or anything. So that's my goal. All right, those are my whips of the week. Going forward, I will not have as many whips as I previously had, just because, you know, I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I love my October Start-A-Ton. I have so much fun with it. And the last year was the first year because I had all new starts. So this year was the first year that I had some finishes that I previously did, and then I incorporated new starts for the finishes, and then I also worked on things that I hadn't finished. So going forward, I'm going to continue with that system, and so it's a lot, but I like it. I enjoy it, and I love October. Halloween is my holiday, and so I have a lot of fun with it, and I hope you guys do, as far as you like watching it. So all right, so that brings me to finishes and FFOs. Shoot, hang on a sec. So that brings me to my FFOs, finishes and FFOs. I don't have any, but I did have a comment on my last video by Sharon, or from Sharon, who wanted me to go over my FFO from last week. So this is a Spooktacular Sampler. I don't remember, Historic Handworks, I think. It was in the Just Cross Stitch magazine, Halloween last year, I think. Anyway, she asked me to go over the details of how I finished this, and specifically about this little tab. So this is an alternative to using magnets and washers. So if you don't want to use magnets and washers on your projects, but you still want to use the frame you want to switch out the stitching, this is an alternative that you can use. So I'm going to bring this up, and you can see this little tab. It's just a piece of ribbon. So you just pull this tab. Hopefully you can see it. And the piece comes out. So you can see this is the frame. Just a piece of wooden frame, or piece of wood board, whatever. It's what it is. Words. Clearly I did not rehearse this, which means I'm real, right? Anyway, I didn't want to put washers on this. I don't want to super glue them because, or not super glue, but hot glue them, because that always tends to come undone, especially if you're changing them out on a regular basis. That hot glue is not permanent. Just saying. On wood, it's not, I have found. So this is an alternative. So what, you're going to see my back, and that's fine. So what I did was I just took a piece of ribbon and I glued it. I used Aleene's glue and I glued it to the back side. And it's a ribbon probably about maybe 3 to 4 inches. And with this one, I tied a little charm. It's a little pumpkin charm, just to give it a little flair. But that's all I did, was I just cut a piece of ribbon and glued it to the back. Now, just be aware that depending on the ribbon, you're going to have a little bit of thickness to the top. And especially with this one, because it's got threads woven into the ribbon, so it's a little bit thicker. So just be aware of that when you are cutting your piece to fit, cutting your foam board. So what I did was I put this on foam board and I covered it with the fabric, with this orange fabric. And then I put the stitched piece on sticky matte board, which I probably won't do again. I'll just figure out something else because I just didn't like it at all. And then I glued that onto the foam board, the fabric covered foam board. And then I just found some trim from Michael's. But the main thing that I think she had a question on was the little tab. And that's all I did, was just glued it on there. And then that way you can just pop it in here. And the more you put it in, the more the more you remove this. I'm done. "12-year-old mind." All right. The more that you remove this, the easier it is to remove. So we're just going to stop right there. So that's it. There is my explanation of that. I hope that answered your questions, Sharon. And if it didn't, let me know, and we'll see what we can do. All right. So that brings me to plans. As I have mentioned a few times, I am going to a retreat called the Stitch Inn at the farm. It's INN. It is held in Troy, New Hampshire at the East Hill Farm. And there's the official name, I guess, is called the Stitch Inn. It's STITCH-INN. So Stitching at the Farm. And it is essentially, you go and stitch with friends, with a group of stitchers. And there is a pop-up shop. Randy from The World in Stitches brings several selections from her shop, and along with fabric, and so that way you do have a chance to shop and acquire things. But mostly it's just gathering with other stitchers, with like-minded people, and stitching for 2.5 to 3 days. You can go up for Friday and Saturday and leave Sunday, or you can go up for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and leave Sunday, or you can go up for as long as you want, but the event is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, half day Sunday. So there we go. I did notice that there is a Facebook group, and I noticed that Lynette announced earlier today that there are 5 spots still available. If you're local and you aren't attending, contact the farm at the East Hill Farm in Troy, New Hampshire. I'll have the information below. I'll have the phone number. You can call them if you are able to come along this weekend. That would be great. But anyway, there's that. And then, as I mentioned, WIPGO numbers were called for November, so I am going to be continuing to work on Shadow Moon. And then my other box was called, that is Dead Outlaw Cowgirl by Night Spirit Studios. I'm going to be working on that. And as you know, if you are a returning viewer, I have 2 boards that I've been working on this year. The other 2 boxes that were called on my second board, I've already completed. So I am just going to enjoy being able to complete 2 numbers for the month of November. So chill month, nice and chill. I did take a look at another Facebook group that I am in called Semi-Stained Stitchers. And so I'm going to be participating in something called Grateful, Thankful, and Blessed. So I'll probably post some more information, or I'll talk about that next week when I am able to participate in it a little bit more. And then I'm going to be participating in This or That November, where I stitch on something with the word November in it. And so I'm going to be pulling out my seasons by Hands-On Design and hopefully getting the month of November done. So that'll be cool. And I think that's about it. The next section is my week in history. So stay tuned to that. This just in, but not really, because these are events in history. All right, I'm going to try and be a little bit more lively, I guess. We'll see. We'll see how it works. The week of October 31st through November 6th. Halloween, October 31st, 2011. The world population reaches 7 billion, according to the UN. 2011. In 1941, after 15 years of construction, Mount Rushmore is complete. In 1918, the Spanish flu kills 21,000 people in the U.S. in a single week. Crazy. In 1864, Nevada becomes the 36th state of the United States. 1864, my home state. But it's not really my home state. I mean, I was born there, but I only lived there for like a year and a half. So, there you go. 1541, Michelangelo finishes the painting The Last Judgment in the Sistine Chapel. And in 1517, Martin Luther posted his 95 Theses as a protest, which actually turned into the beginnings of the Protestant Reformation. Yep. November 1st, 1993, the European Union is established. In 1952, the first thermonuclear bomb was tested by the U.S. In 1765, the Stamp Act went into effect, marking the first attempt of the British Parliament to raise revenue through direct taxation of the American colonial, commercial, and legal papers. November 2nd, 2000, the first resident crew arrived at the International Space Station, including 1 American and 2 Russians. In 1947, Howard Hughes piloted the Spruce Goose, an 8-engine wooden flying boat. on its only flight for 1 mile. And in 1936, the BBC officially launched its first television channel, which was the world's first regular television service. On November 3rd, 1998, a previously unknown 15.5-mile section of the Great Wall of China was discovered. The Great Wall of China runs, of course, about 4,500 miles. In 1992, Carol Moseley Braun becomes the first African-American woman elected to the U.S. Senate. In 1957, the Soviet Union launches Sputnik 2 with a Siberian husky aboard, and that husky becomes the first animal in space. In 1620, the Great Patent was granted to Plymouth Colony here in the U.S. In 1534, the English Parliament passes the Act of Supremacy, making Henry VIII and all subsequent monarchs the head of the Church of England. And on November 4th, 2008, Barack Obama becomes the first African-American president of the United States. 2001, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone premieres in London. 1946, UNESCO was officially established. 1924, Nellie Taylor Ross becomes the first woman to be elected governor of a U.S. state. 1922, Howard Carter discovered the intact tomb of the pharaoh Tutankhamun in the Valley of the Kings. 1845, the first nationally observed uniform election day is held in the U.S. And on November 5th, 1998, the journal Nature published a report that DNA testing had confirmed that a member of Thomas Jefferson's family had fathered a child with Sally Hemings. The testing, however, was unable to definitively prove that Jefferson was the father. Debates are ongoing. In 1872, Susan B. Anthony cast a ballot in the presidential election and was later arrested for voting illegally and convicted in a trial she called the greatest outrage history has ever witnessed. In 1605, the Gunpowder Plot. Catholic conspirator Guy Fawkes attempts to blow up King James I and the British Parliament. The plot was discovered. Guy Fawkes was caught, tortured, and executed along with 7 others. Ever since, November 5th is celebrated as Guy Fawkes Day, and effigies are traditionally burned on a bonfire, accompanied by fireworks. And November 6th, 2012, Tammy Baldwin became the first openly gay person to be elected into the U.S. Senate. And in 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected the 16th President of the United States. And that concludes your week in history. And that's about it. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, like I said, I know that, there's a lot of Flosstubes out there that you can watch. And so thank you so much for watching mine. And have a great week.